Hello there. Good evening. How's it going? Actually, clear weather today here. Hello, Cosmic Ray. Good evening. I'll bring up your scope in a moment. Good evening, Seiko. I won't make a joke about I'm ending the stream right now because, yeah, because we're just getting started. Good evening, Qubits. Good evening, Otto. Welcome. Oh, afternoon, evening, and morning. Hello, Stephen Fox. Good to see you. Yeah, so, yeah, everything, Starfront's supposed to be clear all night. I'm not going to be up all night, but, yeah, so the moon's up. It'll kind of early phase. It'll set at about 6. Oh, hello, Sunbaked. Good evening, Florida checking in. Welcome. That's, yeah, Sunbaked. That sounds like Florida, or Texas. Sorry. Yeah, don't have water next to me, so hopefully I won't have to get some. But in the meantime, oh, Cheap Astro, welcome. Ireland checking in. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the good thing is, so I started this at 9:30 my time, 9:30 U.S. Central. I actually realized I could probably start around 9:15, maybe even 9. And in the next week or two, next couple of weeks, I think I might be able to get it to like 8:45, 8:30. Hello, Benji. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Oh, yeah, it's always a mixed thing, you know, like it's that way here where when we have clear weather in the summer, it generally means a lot of heat, like a heat dome or something like that. But at least there's clear skies. Slowly starting. Yeah, because like I'd been pushing it almost out to 10, and it's actually plenty dark right now, and so I think I might be able, next time I might be able to even get things going a little earlier. Because I mean it's good for most people. It's good if you're in Europe, if you're in the East Coast. It's good for me because I can have a pretty long live stream and still get to bed by 1 in the morning. Oh man, heat domes causing your clouds. That's rough. Hello, Turf. Good evening. All right, so let me. I'm kind of getting things going, and I will. But Cosmic Ray is already going, so let me. Okay, so let me switch windows here. So this is Cosmic Ray on the right, and I'm trying to get ALP running at or ESC running at Starfront. Oh, sorry. Now I know why it's not doing that. It randomly picks a different test pattern if it can't connect. It's still alpha release. That is the one thing since last time I streamed. I was pre-alpha. Now I've officially made it designated at alpha. It's still just as, you know, potentially unstable, but let me get. Yeah, last night I was just streaming on Discord and I ended up, I don't know what happened. It stopped charging and it was draining. So I stopped imaging, tried rebooting it, power cycling the outlet. I ended up opening a ticket, and they ended up swapping out the power brick and cable, and then it started suddenly, charging quickly. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad brick or something that. All right, so I haven't run the startup here, so I'm going to do the startup at Starfront. And first thing I'm going to do is image the nova, the what do you call it? The nova that went off a few weeks ago, not the supernova, but the nova. And it's fading, so I've been trying to image it as it fades. So let me see, is this up? Experimental scope creep. So I updated both of them to the alpha. So again, it's not a huge difference from what I had been running, just a few little fixes, small improvements. Still a lot of functionalities disabled, and the go-to imaging might not work, so I'm might be fixing that today if I can. Still waiting a camera and mount to show up. Hopefully, yeah, I haven't seen that test pattern. Yeah, I mean that was the Chevy Nova, not the Chevy Nova, but yeah, the test pattern was yeah, I don't know why. I just had to do a few random ones, and I have like a more modern test pattern, and then I was like, I need to add a couple of retro ones, and so I tried to get AI to help do one, and that failed miserably. So this is the S30 here in Houston. So I was thinking of, let me find a target for it. And actually now, the nice thing is the Milky Way is up. So I might just, what do I want to kick off here? Yeah, why the heck? Why not? I don't remember if I've imaged the Tulip Nebula here, but I'm going to try, if I can. Okay. All right, so this is going to go somewhere, and now the Starfront one. I can just minimize that because that's now, did it actually align itself? I mean, did it actually do the startup? I'm not sure what it did, but it moved, so we'll just go with that. So I'm gonna go with that V462, the Nova. Give me a sec here. It's V462 loopy. It's really fading. I mean, it's still pretty bright compared to what it had been, but it's definitely faded a lot. Okay, there and there. And I actually also have a refractor going, but I might not use that for much until later, because it's not my normal refractor. It's okay, minute, oops, second, J2000, And then I'll get back to the chat. Oh, sorry. All right. Okay, so I'll try the... All right. Oh, not actually joining. Woke up on the sofa and off to bed. Harvest and Swill. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, drop a like. Don't, like Cheap Astro said, don't forget to like the video. Have I done the iris? I have, but I don't think I've done it on a live stream, so that's a good suggestion. The M10, that M101, that's cosmic rays. So, unfortunately, I don't think my M101 would look that good. Good to set up a real 4K TV real guider. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Is this... Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to reboot this because it's giving me the mount failure issue where it's just refusing to move. Let me make sure I reboot and not shut down, and I reboot the right scope. Yeah, that message that Cosmic Ray is having about the telescope changing, I did. That is one of the last minute things I fixed in the beta. Okay, starting to stack this. This is just some. I don't have it plugged in the S30 locally, but just some extra diagnostics I added, but we can clear those out. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Looks like it's back. This is the that's obviously a bug where it's okay, so I think this is all good now. There we go. Let's see. The Seestar is just slightly confused, but hopefully it's unconfused now. Oh. I'm confused. I'll go back to this. So this is in Houston, the beginning of the Tulip Nebula, which isn't super impressive, but I'm gonna let it go for a while. Oh, nice. Optical double in Cygnus. That's cool. Have I reached 200,000 lines? Oh, no. It's over 100,000, but I mean, depending on what software you use, and although I guess if you count all the stuff I've been working on recently, it probably is over 200. Let's see. So I'm gonna do I forgot since I rebooted the Starfront scope, I am going to rerun the startup sequence and then go to the target. Hello, Mundus Finit. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Oh, I had made a note. I sometimes forget how long it's been since I last live streamed, but I don't know if it came up since then, since the last live stream, but there had been some people posting on, or like on the Facebook, the Seestar Facebook group, or some other places that originally it looked like, or ZWO indicated that pre-orders for this S30 Pro would start this summer. And so, you know, when is summer? Could be July, could be August. Well, I guess in the last few days, they've been responding to people's inquiries saying it wouldn't ship until January, I think. Unless there's been some updates since then. The focal length of the refractor is 600 millimeters, so nothing too crazy. The normal refractor I use is 400, the 75Q, but this is one I use for solar, and so I left it out there and swapped out the spectroheliograph for a normal camera because I was wanting to see if I could separate the supernova a little bit better. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go ahead and put the reflector on there, because then that would get really close into the core, and that would be fine. But I was like, well, I'll try with the refractor, and but it doesn't rise above any buildings until like 11 o'clock my time. So actually, that's not that far away. A little over an hour from now, I think it'll be visible potentially. So I might try it then. Okay. Oh, hey. Polar alignment is horrible, but at least it didn't get confused. So we can go what can we do? Oh, we were going to go to V462 loopy just to start off, because I've been trying to capture it every night I could, even if it was just for a brief bit, to maybe animate the brightness decreasing, but we'll see. All right. That's the only problem, is I don't know if the Seestar at Starfront will have this issue until I guess I could try to do a go-to to some spot area in the sky. But yeah. All right. So this is now going to wherever. SH. Cosmic Ray has SH2 142. I'll probably do some sharpless object later. Well, I mean, I'm doing the Tulip Nebula is one of those, but it's kind of almost lost in the noise. Let me see. Settings. I'll go back to that. All right. Let me. Oh, hello, Dynamahum. Welcome. Yeah, that's cool. Kicked off the Crescent for the night. Yeah, it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be good skies tonight. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, okay, the Wizard Nebula. Nice. You have some high clouds, but you're still able to. Doesn't seem to be like substantially interfering with things. Good evening, Dark Shades. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So the Nova is just going to be for 10 minutes. It's about to start stacking because right now it's doing, because I had to reboot it, it's having to do all the calibration, it's having to do the dark library, that just finished, now it's doing its autofocus, and then once that finishes, it'll start stacking. Looks like a bunch of people are having clear skies. Let me, there's a couple more people at least in Discord. Yeah, we've got Cosmic Ray here on the screen already, but Dark Shades and Qubits. Okay. Is this the butterfly Qubits, or I don't read Nina screens that often, so I'm like trying to see if I can see it. Oh, 5070, is that the I see 5070, is that the butterfly? And Dark Shades has the veil, and that's looking pretty good, because I know Dark Shades skies are about as bad as mine, so that's pretty good. All right, so yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, maybe I'll stop the Tulip and try the Crescent. Pelican, okay, Pelican, cool. I don't always remember my IC numbers, so this is the Pelican Nebula. Nice. Got 18 days of the Nova. Nice. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I don't know how many days I have of it, but it has, because when I first imaged it, so this is the Nova. Oh, gratuitous feature I added. Oh, the refractor. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Let me check that. Let me try that. I forgot I added a totally gratuitous feature here. So this is the Nova. Yeah. And this is just a star. And when the Nova first started, or when I first imaged it, it was actually slightly brighter than this star. So it's faded quite a bit. And since I'm in gratuitous drawing mode, I can be like, photobomb. Actually, will it resize correctly? Hey, didn't really resize well, but that's okay. I mean, it is alpha quality. But yeah, so this will go for about 10 minutes. I'll get up to about 40 frames. So what should I try imaging here? afterwards. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting because it's definitely come across more red. Yeah, more magenta. Yeah, I mean it was yeah, it's kind of interesting. Doing no, it's more about I mean it's only 10 minutes and I was wanting to do like a time lapse of it dimming because why not? Yeah, it's nice. It keeps pausing. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get a. This is gonna cause me grief. I'm gonna go grab water from the other room because I was outside and there's like junk out there. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I think there's something I need to look into that because it seemed like there was some additional thing you need to have to be able to do the half sheet of diffraction grading. Yeah, I mean I do have that spectroheliograph and it does function as a stellar spectrograph. But yeah, I should do something like that. Let me drink the water I just grabbed. All right. Much better. Yeah, I was out in the backyard kind of messing around with some stuff and I was kicking up all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's actually Everclear. No, it's water. It's real. Well, it depends on how much water is in Houston tap water. So I don't know. Might be at least 99% water. The remaining 1%, I don't want to know. Okay, so let's go back to this. And so what should we image next here? I have a few items, mostly microplastics. Yeah, yeah, who knows? I mean, it could be some other things. Definitely has a taste to it. I usually run water through a filter, the tap water through a filter, but okay. All right. All right. So there's the Nova. I was looking at. Actually, let me see if that's even up. Yeah, that's too low. Okay. I could do... I don't know, it would, since the moon's still up, I'm leaning towards doing something. Plastics keep you regular. Nice. Nice. Better. What was it? What was the name of that movie? The Graduate? Whatever. Plastics. Little did they know when that movie was made how much plastics would be everywhere. Okay, so what would be a good one to, good target to image here? Actually, I don't want to do that because I'm imaging from my backyard. I was changing it to the better background, but I mean, actually the moon's really low, so maybe I don't worry about it. I mean, could do something like the Eagle, could try a dark nebula. What was it I was imaging recently? It was maybe I try that again. What was it I was doing recently? I did the cocoon. I did the little cocoon. I did bubble nebula. What was another one? LBN. Oh, that was LBN. Could do the iris. Let me do the iris. I haven't done the, I don't think I've done the iris on a live stream. From Starfront. I've done it from home and it failed miserably, but... And it's actually now high enough, so that's good. It wasn't... Maybe that's why, because it's a direction where it has to be a bit higher, so it's above the roof line. So let's try that. 15 hours. Yeah, the iris always looks good. Which is 15 hours, 17 minutes. All right, so this is going to the... Wait, what did I do? That's not going to work. Oh, maybe it is. Was it done already? Or did I cause it to stop? Okay. It's trying to move to the Iris Nebula. Plate solve succeeded, which is a good sign. I need to fix that. I also should... Okay, it should be starting to stack here. Oh, hey. Using the chalkboard there. Oh. Oh man, what have I done? What have I done? That's a really good smiley face. seemed like kind of a gratuitous feature I added, but yeah, unfortunately it's not draggable. You just have to toggle it there. It was just like a little thing I kind of added. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I decrease the stretch when there's a lot of noise. Just to make it not look quite so apparent. Lagoon? That would be... Yeah, I should try that. Oh, hello, old geezer gazing. Welcome. Oh, the Hoag's object. Oh, are you saying for my, for the refractor Hoag's object? See, I knew it wasn't water. Yeah, stare at it long enough, you'll see faces. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's because I had actually, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Let me write this down. But yeah, the part of my motivation was, I had actually been looking at drawing overlays in OBS so I could kind of draw over what I had on the screen. And I'm like, since I'm writing this thing that already does a ton of other things, that's cool. You really can. I was like, you know, doing a drawing overlay. I've done it before, and it's not that much effort to do it, and so I was like, what the heck, I'll do it. And but yeah, after I did it, it's like, oh, text overlays, yeah. But yeah, this was just the first cut at it that I literally did one evening, but I think it's something that yeah, I think I might have too much, call outs or whatever. Yeah, maybe little bubbles or something. There's a lot of things I could do, but for now it's because like even on the live stream, a lot of times I'll be like, I'll be kind of circling the cursor to kind of highlight something, but with this I won't have to. I can actually circle it and then not have a distracting cursor moving around. Man, there's a lot of noise on this. I wonder if it's because, yeah, what's the temperature? I need to check that out. Need to make sure I check in on, that's looking cool. Although unfortunately double photobombed. And it's funny because it was narrowband, so it's like narrowband photobombing. And then this is looking pretty good. I really like this. I should try something else here. Although the Tulip's finally starting to show some structure here. Let me see if I can, maybe if I boost this, it'll probably also boost the noise. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I kind of started off, I wanted to build a library that was more robust for talking to the Seestar. And I also wanted to fix live view specifically. And it's kind of, well, and it was, the original web interface I all wrote completely by hand. But this one I used one of the AI. I used Claude, Anthropic Claude Code, which it's a command line AI, and so I'd kind of guide it, and then I'd have to clean up some stuff, and then, but it definitely helped spin the wheel a little faster on this one, a lot faster. I mean, I think generally I could write on a good day, I could write a bit over 1,000 lines of code, but with this I was doing 2,000-3,000. At least in the beginning when I was keeping track, just to see if it was worth doing it. But and I also used I did some of the initial design with this Vercel tool, the people who made Next.js, and I was kind of messing around with the UI kind of concept. And so I built like this kind of, it actually has a lot more functionality that I've commented out. But then I was like, okay, I like this UI. I like how it's kind of functioning. Now I need to hook it up to the telescope, to the Seestar. And so then I started doing that, and it's just kind of grown. Ah, cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. That should be pretty awesome. I mean, I saw what you were doing the other night with the Helix Nebula, and looked really nice. Maybe I'll boost the stretch on this at the risk of, yeah, you're starting to see kind of, like if I zoom out, this is the iris, but it's starting to show. It's just too bad about all the noise. Yeah, Pete's writing. Yeah. Yep. So I've got this going, the iris. I've got the tulip going. I probably want to go image something else. So maybe let's see what's up. That sounded weird. Let's see what's up. No, what's up above the horizon? Oh yeah, so this thing that Cosmic Ray has on the screen is it's kind of like an internal diagnostic thing. I should probably kind of bury it a little bit more so it's not as, visible. But basically it's showing the raw messages that go back and forth between the app and the Seestar, which has actually been pretty helpful for me to diagnose things. And I guess I was thinking eventually kind of providing a way to send this information like as part of a bug report, kind of bundle it up and send it. But I ended up, of course, doing overkill and building a web interface for it, because why not? So here at home, I'm dealing with my perennial problem that a lot of stuff is behind a building right now. The Eagle Nebula is starting to be visible. Almost, not quite. What is that that's visible? Yeah, and a lot of stuff is pretty low, and so not as visible. Let's see. was actually thinking of doing more time here on the Crescent Nebula. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah, it has the app, the new version of or this ESC has go-to functionality, but it's slightly off right now because it's using it's not converting the coordinates to the coordinates that I have are J2000 and the Seestar uses JNOW, and so I'm not doing the conversion. I forgot to do that. So if you do go to in the app, yeah, that will restart the backend process. I need to adjust the verbiage on there because it makes it seem like it's it's pretty benign. It just restarts the back end piece that actually communicates with the Seestar. So this, I'm going to the Crescent Nebula here. That's coming along. Sorry. Keep it until V1, V2. Maybe. Hello, Wiley Site. Welcome. I did not add do heater to the info bar. I have an issue for it. I think basically now, since you can see I actually have alpha on it now. It's in the alpha testing phase. So I'm not encouraging people to look at it, but it's fine if they do. I feel like it's a little more solid, you know, but it's not to the beta testing phase. And so that's one of the issues that's on the road to the beta testing phase. So it's going to be in sometime in the next week or two. I probably want to fix go-to first and get the J2000 calculations done. But like there's, I mean, I can pull it up. So I actually have like a project I created, the road to 1.0. And so I have it, I ended up just creating milestones. I mean, it was just more of a way of kind of prioritizing it without like doing sprints of just like, this is what I think would be alpha quality and this is what would be beta quality. And I've been moving some of them back and forth, but right now I have 17, browser console, Discord, because right now it's got, in the footer, it has reported an issue, a link to the GitHub repo, the build information, and I was going to add a link to my Discord server so people don't go to like the ALP Discord server and ask questions there when I may or may not notice it. I am on that server, but add browser, link to Discord, package for Windows, Mac OS. Right now you could theoretically run it. I mean, I run it on my Mac, but right now the only packaging I'm doing of it is Docker, and I'm only building it for ARM right now. So it runs on Raspberry Pi. Theoretically should run on a Mac. I don't run it in Docker on my Mac, but theoretically it could. But I don't have like a Intel build. Fully responsive layout, like the layout doesn't work on a like with smaller screens and like mobile devices, and so I want to fix that before I get to beta. Add color correction for the imaging pipeline. I had a like this thing right now, it's just the stretch, but I had a bunch of other things in here, including deconvolution, sharpening, denoising. I think maybe one other thing. I commented them all out because it turned out the implementation I had was kind of broken, and some of it's going to be a bit more awkward than I initially realized, like the denoising. But I want to, I was able to take some of the Graxpert code, which I had done with ALP, like the stretching algorithm here and in ALP, it's the same stretching algorithm. It's the Graxpert stretch that when you bring a photo into a fit file into Graxpert, it has like a certain stretch, but it has like these canned values. Now it's hard coded in ALP, but I'd let you pick the value. Hold on a second. I'm like spinning plates. Okay, so if I go back to here, okay, so color correction. By that I mean like Cyril and PixInsight. Hold on a second. I'm gonna sneeze. I muted it, hopefully. Anyway, so Cyril and PixInsight have something called spectrophotometric color calibration, where basically it kind of does a white balance or a color balance of your image based on the stars that are in it, and basically what their actual colors are, not how they were imaged, but what they actually are photometrically. Anyway, so that's what this is, and I want to add that so that way, because sometimes the color will shift during stretching, and I think if I add that, it would make sure the colors would then be consistent and accurate. Oh man, well, that stinks. Well, at least you had a little bit of time there. I mean, you were getting some good data there with the Pelican. All right. So what other things? Back pressure, because this is an issue ALP has too, where when you're imaging, and if your network is slow, like your Wi-Fi is slow or whatever, it can kind of get a little wonky, and things get buffered. And anyway, it's back pressure is kind of the way of detecting that in code and then kind of backing off from sending data as quickly if it detects that, things aren't keeping up. Oh, hey, Dave. Welcome. It's been a while. Thanks for dropping by. Good to see you. But yeah, some other things like noise reduction, super resolution. Oh yeah, that's right. Upscaling I did. Image UI. The environment tab, like right now, it's kind of bogus. I commented it out, but because it was so bogus. But basically, it shows like the phase of the moon and the weather. The problem is it was like test data, and I had fixed it in some other code I have, but I didn't fix it in here, so I just commented it out. So I want to get that back in there. Reset state, extra exposure settings. So like, yeah, documentation, getting started. And actually, was it this one? Maybe, did I not put it here? Don't tell me I didn't do that. Well, I'll fix that then. Oh, no milestone. Okay, so this should go to... Sorry, I'll get back to the thing shortly. I just want to fix this. And basically, do heater indicator. I actually had an item. It might be for, it might have been for the final release that I basically want, I want to add the ability to kind of customize this, you know, like if you're not interested in some of these settings, to be able to kind of edit the, kind of like how you can edit different buttons in certain apps. I want to add that, and then you could add in the dew heater, and maybe you're not interested in battery because you always have it plugged in or whatever. But yeah, it's now an issue. Thanks for asking about that, because otherwise I would have forgotten again. But one thing you shouldn't forget is liking that video if you haven't already. The most, how's that for a segue? All right. I had actually gone to the Crescent Nebula, and I forgot to start imaging. So I just started. Sorry, I guzzled the water. And I also guzzled some, or not guzzled, I had some dinner just before the stream and maybe ate a little too fast. All right. So this is the Crescent from my backyard. So far it's not too bad. I mean, given the moon's up, Bortle 9, etc. Let me check something here. Yeah, I think after the iris here, I might go do the little cocoon nebula, maybe. Although I made a note, there was a few dark nebulas. It was LDN 175. Oh, before I forget, this was a video I was like, it was something that showed up on Windows News, and I clicked on the link and it went to it went into Edge, and anyway, but I copied the link and put it here. Perseverance rover captures Martian moon transiting the sun. I was like, that is so wicked. A view from Mars of one of Mars's moons transiting the sun. I thought that was pretty wicked. But yeah. Anyway, that was a cool thing I had run across today. Yeah, the witch's broom is looking good. Yeah, start imaging if you're there. I like that idea. Let me put that down. Yeah, for those, because that happens to me regularly. Auto start stacking if on image for a while. Yeah, that was pretty. I should, let me try to drop this link in on the Discord, or not Discord, on the YouTube chat. How can I get it to the YouTube chat? Because, well, let me, okay, I'll paste it. Oops. Helps if I use the right key. And so, and then, all right. Copy link. Right, yeah. Yeah, I need to do the Discord plug, which I have been, well, I think the thing is I just haven't streamed as much in the last few months, or quite a few weeks, because of lousy weather. But the good news is I was trying to make the most of the lousy weather, and wrote this thing, so at least it wasn't a complete waste. I think this is done imaging. How long did I put on that target? I thought I put it on an hour. Wouldn't think it would be done already. No, it's theoretically still going. Well, I don't know why it isn't showing the status. All right. What else? Oh, and so here is the Crescent Nebula taken from Bortle 9 skies. So very unfortunately looking towards a freeway, which is all lit up. So that's not ideal. Oh yeah, let me see. Do I have the all sky camera? Yeah. The nice bright skies here. Oh hey, you can actually see a star. Oh, three stars. Amazing. Oh, 4. I can see 4 whole stars. Anyway, yeah. Yep. So let's go back to this. And the next thing I was going to image after, I'm looking at these dark nebulas now. So one of them was LDN 175. Oh, which is right next to M9, globular cluster. So that's kind of an interesting one. But then, yeah, that's true. Well, and the problem is the schedule. I did the schedule on ALP, and an ALP schedule is an internal concept. So it'll just start imaging, and it keeps track of time, and when time has run out, it stops imaging. So it's like it's just like an automation of you hitting the start button and then the stop button. It's not using the native planner mechanism. So the problem is I started with ALP, but this doesn't know anything about it. But I have thought about implementing the planner mode. I know how to create a plan in from the back end. So if I did that, it would definitely be able to. And I'm leaning towards doing that anyway, just for compatibility with the app. I mean, that didn't exist when ALP was initially written, and for like a year, or almost a year, not quite a year. But the other advantage is you can make ALP schedules time-based by waiting until a certain time before starting an object, but you could also just do object after object, and if one fails, it just immediately goes to the next one. Whereas the native planner is oh man, hard croak. Yeah, I need to. I do have it running. This version is actually running on a Raspberry Pi, so I'm trying not to run it on my computer. And actually, both instances are running on Pis. This is running on a Pi 4, the local one, and then the one at Starfront's running on a Pi 5. Anyway, long story short, one of the reasons I wanted to add that is if you... Oh, I blew it up. Interesting. It is alpha quality. Interesting. I'll have to look at that. But anyway, one thing I added in that status overlay was basically a monitor for files that have a certain state, and I was wanting to use it at Starfront because they have a file that indicates whether or not the roof is open or closed. And so people using Nina on Windows computers are able to monitor that and then pause their schedule and resume it. So I was thinking if I implemented native plans, I could actually just pause the plan and then resume it. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have added a lot of pop-ups, so yeah, I mean, the good thing is now it's kind of, I'm using it more. Hopefully I'll have some more live streams, more frequent live streams, and so I can start getting this kind of feedback and ideas, great ideas for things to add or change. Yeah, but yeah, it could be. Yeah, I still have to figure out how. Well, and then there's this other bit of code that I wrote, having like a more comprehensive planning, being able to plan a night's sessions and look up objects. There's some rudimentary stuff in here, like I need to make this faster, but this is based on the current location. Well, might not be the current location, but it can be based on the current location, and by default it'll show you things that are above the horizon grouped by object type, and you can search for, like, I can go search for NGC 7331 and I can see, okay, it's 50 degrees above the horizon. But I also added some code kind of in this other project where it shows like a horizon graph of like, it's kind of on the upswing, and you can see where it peaks and which compass direction it's at. So if you know your east is bad, you can see, oh, it's towards the east, so I can't see it. Stuff like that. But that's in a different bit of code that I've still been trying to figure out how to integrate in with this, because I kind of also want to leave it standalone, but also be able to use it with this. But yeah, and that has like the beginning of like a scheduler where you can specify. Actually, it's basically like the Seestar scheduler, where you can specify a time block. You can pick an object. It'll show you kind of how far above the horizon it is during the schedule. I don't have that code running, but maybe I'll show that at some point. I showed it. I think I showed it on Discord, but what else? Yeah. So the good thing is, with all this rain, I've been very productive building new stuff. Of course, I could just, rest or do something, but nah. I filled all the time that I would have been either observing or live streaming. I spent it coding instead. So I'm still looking at this. I forgot I was looking at those dark nebula. Hello, North Star Astronomy. Good evening. How's it going? Oh yeah, that other software had that to-do list that I had showed, where you can come up with like targets you want to image, and it actually would show it in a. You just add the target, and it would show it in a grid, and it would tell you at a given moment how high above the horizon it was and which direction it was. So you could just kind of, if you wanted to figure out what you wanted to image, you could just look at your to-do list, sort it by height or elevation, and then just pick the highest thing and start imaging that. So there was a lot of function. There is a lot of functionality in that code, and I still have to figure out how to merge the two. But I think I'm not even. I'm kind of in the background trying to think about it, but realistically, I'm not going to even try to tackle it until this is at least at the beta phase, because I don't want to. I want to not complete it, but get it in a much more stable shape where other people can be using it before I kind of start pulling in other stuff. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I'll do that next. I'll do that dark nebula. Let me see, B63. No, I'll do B75. That'll be the next one. Oh, nice. Well, funny enough, I'm imaging it, but it's of course this is from my Bortle night skies. The scope status on screen. It's the. Do you have? Are you back up? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's you click on the little eye icon here, right here. It's not the most obvious thing, but you click on this one. That dismisses it. Yep. Yeah, it's not the most intuitive thing. and that's another thing I plan on kind of making things a little bit more better self-documentation. Like I have this help thing that's probably not that good. I need to work on it. I have like this starting tour where it'll kind of highlight certain functionality in the code. Again, it's still kind of in the early phases, but yeah, like I added that to try to, and there's also, and then it pops up this list of keyboard shortcuts, some of which work, some of which don't, but the plan is that eventually it'll have kind of that kind of usability feature, those kind of usability features. I always find this little section here kind of interesting, because it's like you just see the nebulosity obscuring things, but then this is like almost a window where you can see, or that's what it kind of looks like. But yeah, NGC 6826. Let me look at that. Actually, let me schedule this Bernard object first before I forget. Okay, cool. Tiny in the Seestar, yeah. Let me NGC 6826. Oh yeah. Yeah, the blinking planetary nebula. That's always been kind of my dilemma with almost all of the planetary nebulas. They're just way too small in the Seestar. It's looking really nice. All right. Well, I actually do have it on a list to be able to do. I have some other things that I'm not going to disclose that I've been kind of playing around with, but I do have code, or I had done some prototypes before I started this, where you could specify a horizon, kind of like how I have it in Stellarium, and then it'll kind of tell you that things are below the horizon or your horizon. So that's the plan. Yeah, and that's basically what it would take. It would take just a list of coordinates. Oh shoot. Let me check something here. Give me a sec here. Oops. My refractor had been going so long it meridian flipped, which I didn't necessarily want it to do, but it seems to still be working, so that's fine. Didn't seem to hit anything, so let me go. Actually, let me check something here. Okay. Let me try this. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. Yeah, I was I was going to have a solar stream today, and I got the refractor set up, set outside, had the spectroheliograph hooked up, and I have this guide scope that has a camera on it and a white light solar filter, and then I have the spectroheliograph, and so I'll bring up both on screen, and it's also helpful because then I can tell where the scope is pointing using the kind of the guide scope, but having a camera on it so I can see, because you can't plate solve and yeah, that all that jazz. Anyway, long story short, I was having a heck of a time. I was getting hot because it was like 100-degree heat index. Couldn't get the I could get one of the cameras working but not the other, and I thought it was a bad port. Anyway, I ended up troubleshooting it after in the late afternoon when it was in the shade, and it was a bad cable, bad USB cable, and it's a long USB cable, so I ended up having to order another one. So my plan is to do, since it's going to be clear again, I hope to do a solar stream tomorrow, but we'll see. We shall see. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at something here real quick, and then I will switch back to the chat. All right. Or I'll check the chat. But give me a moment here. And okay. And okay. Just doing an experiment here. All right. Sorry, let me get back to the chat. All right. Whoa, I'm behind. Imaging is, yeah, 150 millimeter. Yeah, and I definitely need to do that. Map the wall. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I think Dynamo did it when it was like twilight, so just kind of follow the blue line. Haven't tried solar. Yeah, I mean, for years I just had like white light solar filters, and like the Seestar has a pretty good white light filter, and but then like a year and a half ago I got I'd wanted to have a hydrogen alpha scope for like years, and I guess it was the Tulip solar eclipses, like the 2023 partial and 2024 total. I was like kind of renewed interest in getting a hydrogen alpha, and there's ones under $1,000, but you can only use them for hydrogen alpha. But I got one, and I enjoyed it a lot. But then I realized there's these spectroheliographs that will reconstruct it'll reconstruct the solar image, and it also can do multiple frequencies, which is pretty cool. Let me just and it started off as a project that there's trying to find the website, because these are related, but well, okay, so anyway, it's a project. You could buy the optics and then 3D print the case, but this company, which is the one I bought from, they have their own like they've you don't have to 3D print it. It's basically a turnkey kit, or turnkey thing. You just buy it, pop it on the telescope, and run software. But basically it can make images like in different frequencies. So like this is probably calcium line, hydrogen alpha. It can do helium. It can do this kind of a effect where you can kind of image the prominences around the edge and kind of do an artificial eclipse. It's not the full corona, of course, but still pretty awesome. And that thing, the spectroheliograph, cost about the same as a solar scope, but you basically add your own your own telescope to it, just a normal telescope. And so yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. But it arrived just around the time we started having lots of rain here, so unfortunately I'm kind of bummed that I haven't been able to use it as much as I'd like to. Yeah, exactly, no-go zone. Yeah, so I actually have some ideas. Once I've kind of prototyped some of it, I'll yeah, I'm not gonna say anymore, but yeah, because I've got plans, I've got ideas. This is actually turning out not too bad, all things considered, given that this is in my backyard with the with the 2 or 3 stars in the sky. It's not too bad. Yeah, this looks. I really like the green. Yeah, there's something. One of the things I try to do at Starfront is image targets that are really hard to do from home. So like dark nebulas is one, but I've been trying to image kind of some very faint emission nebula and reflection nebula. I've been trying to image. My current project is trying to image the Squid Nebula, but oh, nice, 30 more minutes. That'll look really good. I mean, it's looking great already. This is gonna go how much longer? And that yeah, it's about 3 minutes left before it goes to the dark nebula. But sometimes the idea for features were, because like during a live stream, like how many more minutes is it? But of course, then in that case, it's a more difficult thing of, well, how do I get that information into this? But then other things like, oh, did I change the gain? You know, is it the correct value? How much space do I have left? Because I've run out of space several times on live streams, which is kind of painful. Or I wouldn't run out of space during the live stream, but I didn't realize I was running really low, and I let it go for a few more hours. And when the Seestar starts getting really low on space, it'll stop saving the subframes. And so I thought I'd have a lot more subframes, and I was missing most of them because it had stopped saving them because it just didn't have the space. And yeah, being able to see the drop frame count in a more straightforward way without having to like dig around or have the, like with ALP, you have the thing to the side, which is fine for a lot of targets, but sometimes I was trying to make it more streamlined, more unobtrusive, try to maximize the amount of space for the image. Yeah. Oh, hello, Armando. Welcome from Mexico. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of that kind of walking noise. Yeah, no, awesome. That's great. I'm going to be going for a bit longer here, at least another hour. Oh, hello, hello from greetings from Canada. Awesome. Arkansas. Yeah, it's well, I joked about that at the beginning of the stream. I was like, maybe I should just end the stream right now. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's in one of its moods with the drops. Yeah, it's yeah, no, it's I didn't want to joke about it too much, lest people who were tuning in would be like, wait, the stream's already ending? He just started. But yeah, the thought did occur to me. It's like, what happens when Seiko joins at the beginning? Alright, it's almost ready to switch. Oh, it actually has switched. Which again, I need to have more better status updates when it switches targets. But it's going on to Bernard 75, I think, which is a dark nebula. Yeah, wizard. Oh, what's the idea? It's just live observing stream. Mostly Seestar. Seestar S50, S30. Not always, sometimes some other scopes. I have people on people who are on the Discord server will they'll be sharing kind of things they're observing, and I'll pull them into the live stream. But we also discuss astronomy related things. But yeah, the and as far as the soundtrack goes, thanks. It was I had some other music before, but then it was what do you call it? Free to use music, but someone had been making copyright claims on it. Anyway, I had to switch music, but it's kind of like ambient music, or I forget what it was called, but basically I was trying to, because I'm doing this late at night, sometimes till 1 or 2 in the morning, wanted something nice and kind of mellow, especially, imaging stuff in the sky. Yeah, it does vary sometimes. I have times like that where just end up dropping a lot. So right now I've got so this is Cosmic Ray, who's in the chat here, sharing a target he's doing, and here's Dark Shades sharing the Veil Nebula, both with Seestars. This I'm imaging with a Seestar S50 from a remote observatory in central Texas that has pretty dark skies. You can see down here. Here's my all sky camera of there. But then in my backyard, I have an S30 running, imaging the Crescent Nebula, but I'm in Houston, Texas, so I have massive light pollution, which is why it has all these kind of rainbow colors. So yeah, it's just kind of observing. People will suggest targets sometimes, and I'll go image those. And sometimes I just I usually try to have some things in mind, and then just kind of chat. Sometimes about astronomy stuff. Sometimes it gets very random. Right. Yeah. I know how that goes. Trying to yeah, no, there's a lot. and I need to make it more obvious as like who's on what target when I pull in Discord, because it shows up here, but it's like not the letters are kind of small. The random's usually your fault. I don't know. I think it's a community effort. I know I certainly go on tangents all the time. Should crank up the gain. Yeah, let me well, I can't crank it up now, but I can at least try boosting this. Yeah, who's on first? Exactly. Sometimes I have a hard time telling how it actually looks, because it'll look slightly different. I have it up on 2 monitors here, and it looks slightly different on each. And then I have it up kind of a small one on my laptop. And it actually ends up looking better on the laptop. So I don't know. This will start getting more detail as it gets more data. But it's a sometimes I should just leave it zoomed out until it gets more. But this is a dark nebula, Barnard 75. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. And I haven't changed it. Or I mean, I don't set it in the app currently, but I do plan on doing the right value. I think I might even have some logic in there already to be able to specify it or specify the default correctly depending on what kind of scope it is. But right now maybe I do already. If you use the go-to functionality, it notices if you've got an S30 or S50 and sets the right default. Although it defaults to that value, but at least it doesn't change it to something incorrect. Yeah, off camera, I started, speaking of other scopes, I was looking at the refractor, and I think that's going to be a bust tonight. It's not stacking, and so I don't know. I think if I'm going to try the supernova again, I should use the reflector, my Cassegrain, not Schmidt Cassegrain, but classic Cassegrain, because I think that's going to give best results. So yeah, I think that's going to be not useful. Are you controlling it with ESC? No. I've been using, on the S30, I've been using the app, and on the S50 at Starfront, I've been using ALP. Mostly because of that issue where it's not doing the J2000 to JNOW conversion correctly, and so the targets end up slightly off center. It's going to like almost the right area, so I know it's working. Like I was able to point it at like the little cocoon or something, and it did actually kind of, it was in the frame but offset. So once I fix that, I'm going to just try to only control it with ESC. So that one's actually kind of high on my list of next things to fix, so I can use it purely in ESC. Because, I mean, I want to use the functionality to help find bugs and find usability issues and other things. And if I'm not using it, I won't find them. Yeah, this is some nice. So this particular dark nebula is near. It's Barnard 75, and it's really close to the dark. Actually, that is it. Oh no. Down here. So this is Barnard 75, but then kind of going down here is a bigger dark nebula, the Dark Horse Nebula, which also goes by I don't know what it goes by. Maybe Barnard 262. But it's connected to this one, so but I thought I'd focus on that on this particular one. And it's also not too far. Is it? No. Oh yeah, it's actually not too far from the Snake Nebula, which is kind of about a frame below, a frame height below this image. So it's relatively close in the sky. Now this one is gonna go. Yeah, I need to figure out which ones are doable. Figure out the which voids are most doable. Yeah, this one's going to be going for another 40 plus minutes. Let me see how the Crescent's doing. I might go on to something else here, because things in my backyard kind of sometimes only briefly appear. Actually, I don't have a ton of time to do this, but I'm going to try it. Let's see. I have kind of this area of my backyard I call kind of the trench, where it's between two buildings, and I can see a bit lower to the horizon, but yeah. And so that's what I'm going to do, because there's something kind of could be interesting. I want to see how well it shows up in my backyard, because it's been like a year since I've imaged some of these things. is. So this is, like I say, in my backyard. Bortle 9, pretty low, so light pollution is probably going to be bad, but I do have the light pollution filter on. Okay. So this is the Lagoon Nebula and the Trifid Nebula. I think. For some reason it doesn't get the circles right, but actually it doesn't look too bad, all things considered. And I can't image this too long before it ends up going behind a building. Let's see, what is the... I am interested in adding like a denoise in here, just especially when I'm imaging from home, because things are pretty noisy in the beginning. Just trying to figure out which, like it's darker, but the background's darker, so it kind of feels a little bit more contrasty. How does that look? Yeah, maybe I'll leave it. This or this. Yeah, I'll leave it like there. Now, doesn't, of course, get as much of the blue nebulosity as you get at Starfront, but still, for Bortle 9 with the S30, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with it. Oh, and I forgot. I have imaged this area before, but it was with the S50, so I couldn't get both of them in one shot. So this is the first time I've imaged these two with a Seestar at once. Oh, hello, Cold Ocean Music on Discord. Of course, some if you're in darker skies, you get much better results. So Psycho just posted this on the Discord server. The same target with the S30. Granted, this was 4 hours, which I won't be able to image this even 40 minutes because it'll be behind a building, but that looks awesome. Like all this detail here, all this nebulosity, and then the Trifid. And it's not upside down. It's just imaged from the southern hemisphere. We're upside down. Or, I'm joking. But yeah, there is no upside down. But it's inverted from what I get because it's from the southern hemisphere. Yeah, what it should look like. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Deer lick in 5 minutes. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so the deer lick group is the NGC 7331 Galaxy group, and that's where the recent supernova was. I did try imaging it recently, but it you can kind of tell where the supernova is, but it kind of it's a little too small on the Seestar. I mean, the too little separation with the galaxy core. You could tell there's some separation, but that's why I was wanting to image with the refractor tonight. But it's not my normal refractor, and it was having issues plate solving, and well, not plate solving, but stacking. And so I'm like, forget it. I'll do the reflector. If it's clear tomorrow night, I'll do the reflector and try to image that. Try to image the supernova, which Dark Shades was imaging it on Discord, I think, a few days back on a Celestron 8-inch telescope, and it was quite visible there because a lot better focal length, more magnification, and so that was cool. And so I'm hoping to do the same with my. I mean, I knew I wouldn't be able to do it with the refractor I have, but I was hoping to get some more magnification, but I couldn't. Like, it was having issues, so I'll have to try again with the reflector, which is comparable focal length to the C8. Yep. I'm actually really happy with this. I mean, like I say, I haven't been able to image both in one shot because I only had the S50, and so this is fantastic. And Bortle 9, so if I can image it, there's a good chance you can image this. Yeah, I really like that. And it is, some of the blue nebulosity is starting to be visible, but it's not going to be anything like Seiko's photo. But yeah, that's looking good. And this is looking pretty good. This dark nebula kind of looks kind of very spidery, wispy. And then just all the massive amount of stars towards the Milky Way core. Countless stars. But what should I image after? Oh, hey, we got the tree. We got a tree nebula here. Nothing that there's reducers, flatteners. Not a field flattener. You need a tree flattener, or a tree reducer. Either one of those would probably help. For me, I just have buildings around me, so that's a little bit more challenging. Tree flattener. Yeah. Or a tree reducer. Tree reducer would work too. You don't have to completely flatten it, but yeah, radio telescope. Yeah, we should talk about that. I need to. Well, with all the brain I've been having too, but personally, like a lot of what I've seen with amateur radio telescopes is it's very it's like a XY plot as they kind of pan past the object, or the object goes past the antenna. The problem is a lot of those antennas have a fairly low resolution, but ideally what I want to do is be able to do a two-dimensional kind of map, but that's kind of tricky with amateur grade. CS5 chainsaw, nice. A whole new line of accessories. Yeah. What do I... Yeah, this, in my backyard, the horizon I have is not fully accurate, but I might have less than 20 minutes before this goes behind a building. But it hasn't even been going 10 minutes, so another 10, 20 minutes, I think it'll be good. And actually, let me see if I boost the stretch, how does that look? It does definitely boost the noise on the image. Load in the trees, yeah. Yeah, it's just happenstance that I can even get to it. Like I say, it's the trench, and I have less than an hour that objects are in that area, and a lot of the times I don't start imaging until it's already into the area, so that's why I'll get like half an hour if I'm lucky out of this. Yeah. It's single pixel. Yeah, scan. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Visible is just so much easier. I mean, really, because like radio astronomy wasn't even a thing until wasn't until the 40s? Like until the 40s that yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you look at some of the really amazing high resolution stuff done with radio astronomy, and that's like done with the VLA, which have an array of over a dozen large telescopes scattered over several miles. Then it's yeah, Tesla is in Nikola, not just a big yeah. I think the Homeowners Association might frown upon a 10-meter scope, especially because my backyard would fit width-wise but not depth-wise. Yeah, as in not the car company. Although if you take enough ketamine, you might think you're contacting Mars, but anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I'm usually have my scope in the backyard, but there's been a couple times like there's a kind of an alleyway between my house and a neighbor's house, and I had the telescope, and I was kind of in the shadows with this big like instrument, and I was getting a bit self-conscious because people do drive by quite a bit if they looked over and like, what in the world? Somebody in it. I think it was when I was trying to image the one of those comets that was last year. Yeah, and it didn't work out, so I ended up just taking like a did I even take my Seestar? I don't think I did. I think I just took like I forget what I took, but I went over to a park nearby, which still people probably jogging around wondering what the heck I was doing. It was a little, probably a little suspicious. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, and when I did astronomy when I was like younger, it was always in my parents' backyard. So, and I don't really have much of a front yard here. So for better or worse. Let's see. So I was, which one is this? I see 50, 70. Ah, that's the Pelican. All right. I see 4673. What is that? Oh. Huh. 'Yeah, I think I'll do that. LDN 6. Oh, wait, not with the scope. Wrong one. 6. Yeah, no, that's not what I'll be able to do. Yeah, okay. I'll do that. Six, 7, 8, 1. Okay. All right. Sorry, I was just trying to plot out my next. So this is the galaxy that has the supernova. Fake bullet holes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it makes sense if the conditions are better. Hide behind my house at the bottom of the driveway. Yeah, just so to mess with the nerd. Oh man. Oh, okay. Good night, Seiko. Thanks for joining. Let's see. So this is turning out well. I think I'm going to go on to the next target here because I've been doing this for, it's about halfway through. Got about 30 minutes of time on this. And so yeah, I think I will go to the next target at Starfront. It's going to be another dark nebula, but little something extra. I mean, not anything like earth-shattering or anything, but SH21857. Let me look that one up. Oh, that's the lobster claw nebula. That's cool. Only could get 30 minutes on the Trifid. Yeah, although your 30 minutes is definitely a lot more productive than my 30 minutes. Ah. Cool. Look like an off-color top with a wide field. Yeah. Oh, and I was missing that Star Traveler started streaming, so... Oh yeah, that looks really nice. Nice wide field. So it's the Ask RV. So that's like a 270 millimeters or something like that. 4 minutes, nice. Yeah, mine's 20. Not quite 20, over 15 minutes. Yeah, 270. But you do have darker skies than I do, so. It looks great, though. It looks really nice. Oh, nice. 52. That should be good. Oh, yeah. See right here. You can see the, oh, hey. Wield the drawing tool. Yeah, you can do the trash to erase it. And then, yeah, the arrow tool. Right there. Yeah, so you can see the, unfortunately you can't move that little dialogue, and when you dismiss it, it causes the layer. But yeah, you can see the, that dot there. That's the supernova. Yeah. Yeah, no, that I mean, you were getting good results with the doublet once you started doing a lot of filters, but that ASCAR is pretty impressive. Yeah, an hour, still pretty gonna be pretty good. Oh, hello aerial engine, M101 Bortle 8. Nice, cool. Yeah, I mean, the S50's great scope. S30, um, which is what I'm shooting here on the left, is an S30 in Bortle 9. And, but yeah, visual could get like a little Dobsonian or something. Yeah, it's all new. It's and this was like just the first pass at the overlay tool. So I mean I call it chalkboard tool, but it's just the first pass. But still, it's cool, especially for cases like this where you're trying to highlight some very specific thing. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's actually on my list, but I think I might have initially put it as post 1.0 because I didn't want to get sidetracked. But it all depends on how quickly. I mean, I was trying to put dates, but be conservative with them, so I actually would be able to hit them. So we'll see. And sometimes I end up moving things between the milestones, so it might happen sooner. Yeah. Yeah, let me drop the link here. The Discord server. Oh wow, Takahashi. Those are good scopes. It's visual. Yeah. Oh. So what you're saying is you want this to be able to act as an indie controller? Is that what you're saying? Oh yeah, don't forget to click the like button. Thanks for that. I need to be better on the hype train. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I did put it down as like two separate things, like indie client, indie server, and I get it. And I have thoughts on something, on where I want to go with this. But I'm focused on the Seestar aspect of it now. We'll just say it that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to tackle something like that, and if you want to add it to this, let's talk in Discord about it, because I have suggestions on how you could prompt it to be structured that would kind of fit in with some of the longer term plans I have. But yeah, there's definitely some other things. But again, I've got to focus on the near term, getting the Seestar stuff a bit more resilient. But to be fair, some of the stuff was written to be kind of generic. And some of it is generic, like processing an image, or like, doing this kind of processing, or the markup stuff, or the target lookup. Like, that's all very generic. Has really nothing to do with the Seestar. Lobster claw, yeah. 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 Yeah, like I say, we should talk about it, cuz if you want to mess around with it, I could give you something that if you decide to take it wherever you decide to take it, it would be easier to kind of integrate in. Or I could, let me make a note. Maybe I'll work on modularizing some of the back end a little bit better. Yeah, because really, like, if you get right down to it, like the telescope controls, well, it doesn't show them because I'm imaging, but you basically have, you know, you have, I mean, conceptually, a lot of the stuff is similar. Like, you send a coordinate to the telescope, or you tell it to go left or right or up or down, or, you know, or you request information from it. So, I mean, like the information coming out of the Seestar gets kind of, it doesn't get perfectly normalized, but it does get processed a little bit. And I didn't fully code it that way, but I do want to make it more generic. So if I didn't say this, but if like someone wanted to add an ASI error support, theoretically it might work. I mean, granted, that one should be fairly easy because it's similar to the Seestar, but yeah, I have thoughts. Yeah. Well, and this is the thing where sometimes the AI can be helpful because it's doing things that computers are good at, or it can do the kind of things that computers are good at, where you just say, okay, here's some XML and extract kind of the structure from it, you know, and it can read the tags, and if they're somewhat descriptive, it'll figure out, you know, what it represents and how to parse it. And then that's like a whole bunch of boilerplate you didn't have to write, which I've thought about, like just basically taking some XML examples of indie kind of conversations and just saying like, and I've actually like basically you could feed it the request and the response and say, make code that does this, you know, like that parses this and sends back this response. And it can get you pretty far sometimes. Sometimes it's like, does a good job. Because I've been doing that with some JSON stuff where I hand coded a lot of the JSON. I hand coded most all of the JSON for extracting certain events and sending commands, but then I had it do some of the parsing logic on like, okay, here's a response, create the data model, that the pydantic model that represents this, and it spit out all the classes. So I mean, it's not hard to do, but it just saves you the time of doing it, kind of the grunt work. Good morning. Good morning, Scrapyard Dog. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's yeah. I when I live stream, I often live stream till about midnight my time. So yeah, but when I start, it's middle of the night. It's actually on my list. Let me see. I added it to the issues. So on version 1, add satellite tracking. And it says version 1, but that's a no later than, so it could appear before the beta phase. It all just depends, but it's on the roadmap to 1.0, so I'm pretty committed to getting all of this in by version 1. Yeah. Yeah, XML isn't great. Yeah, and it's you hate AI. See, I didn't ever hate it. I was kind of ambivalent about it, but I kind of resolved to a few months back to really trying to leverage it more in cases where it made sense, and I've been happy with the results. Like I say, the kind of the boilerplate grunt work, that kind of stuff, it's great. Like React, it's pretty good. Like, because a lot of the stuff, the patterns are the same, and like Vercel's, I know theirs, it's based on Tailwind, Next.js, and the ShadCN UI widgets, which I was building a lot of interfaces using that stack anyway, and the fact it could just like spit out the beginning of a screen with that's just like a whole bunch of aesthetic work I don't have to deal with. Like, it gets me 80% of the way there, sometimes more. I'll take over your mind. Don't have mine. Yeah, what was it? Of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most. There's that too, like embrace this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't. I mean, that's the problem, like, for some information. I mean, even, like, if the AI is trying to use what is it? If the AI is trying to come up with the information based on its own training data, that can be hit or miss. Like I was doing stuff with, tell me about NGC, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it was actually not too bad. Sometimes it was just like, it's confused. But now they have like the deep research models. Basically, they add web query and summarization. And that can be pretty decent, I've found. Like, you can say, go come up with this kind of, look for this information, and it'll kind of go out there and summarize the information, give you the links to it at least, so you can whereas if you just ask from its own training data, it'll just, it could just make stuff up, and it'll make links up sometimes. But if you use kind of the deep research models, it'll actually give you a link back, which is, I like that. I had to work today. Yeah, that would be nice. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually, I have wondered about that, because that whole concept in that book just kind of didn't really resonate with me years ago. But now the more you read about, like, oh, well, and again, some of it's been oversold, but it's like, oh, well, what happens if, like, all these jobs become obsolete? What would people do? And it's like, And then that popped in my head. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe it will not end the way some people think it will. Yeah. Yeah. It might get you a raise. You never know. But yeah. Oh, let me go back to. Oh. Well, let me look at this. Because I don't know how much time I have left on this before it goes behind the building. The spice must flow. Yeah. It hasn't dropped any frames yet, but this is on the cusp of going behind a building already. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. So I might stop this now so it doesn't start messing up. But I'm pretty happy with that. Very happy with that. Got 31 minutes of data. Bortle 9, low in the sky. I can deal with that. So I'm going to stop that momentarily and then go back to this one real quick. So I picked this one because it's the dark nebula, but it also has this planetary nebula in it. And I think I imaged it at one point, but it's been a while, so I think that's kind of cool. It's like a very busy star field in the Milky Way, some nice dark nebulosity, and then this little snowball, snow globe, I think it is, snow globe nebula. Yeah, that's cool, the supernova. And that's looking, man, the satellites just won't give a person a break. Wally, maybe. Yeah, that sounds good. Embassy. Well, that's interesting. What did it mislabel him as? I like that how I see on the bottom meridian flip turned off, and it says it's got like 3 minutes till meridian flip. As trees? Oh yeah, see, look, I stopped just in time. Here's the house coming in, so just stop or just bang into the mound. Yeah, exactly. Does it just have like a panic attack or something? Just speaking of panic attack, I need to park my refractor before it tries to meridian flip again. Since that was kind of a bust anyway. Oh well. I tried. Okay. And let's park it. Okay. Ah. Yeah. Switch targets. Speaking of not trees, but the I did stop that right in the nick of time.
You're having clouds? I am, yes, currently. This is the S30, and the S30's standard gain is 200. And my S50's at 80, which is the standard for the S80. I do often run higher gain at home, just because I have limited time to image things. Sometimes it helps with the to boost some of the signal a bit. But yeah, I do sometimes increase it a little bit, especially at home. I'll run at like 120 gain instead of 80. Sometimes higher. Let me find something here. Actually, let me look at the catalog at Stellarium to see what. And this isn't that interesting, so I'll go back to this. So let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, from my backyard, the Milky Way, a lot of it is nearing the meridian, and past the meridian, I can't image things very well. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, maybe I'll do the veil. Because I can let that go for a while. Helps if I type it correctly. Yeah, so let's try that. How much battery do I have left on here? 37%. That's okay. It does look like it might be good tomorrow weather-wise, so I'll do another live stream tomorrow night from Starfront and here, hopefully. And I think it might be good at Starfront on Wednesday, but not here. So I'll do it again on Wednesday. We'll see. Trying to make up for lost time for all that rainy weather. Alright. So this should be starting to image part of the Veil Nebula. Andromeda. I don't think it is yet. No. It's about to rise. It's behind a building right now. But that's a good idea. I'll try that maybe a little later. Got to see your process. Not very exciting. Which? Oh yeah, planetary nebula. Yeah, so this it's let me see which one that was. It's the Snow Globe Nebula NGC 6781. So it's in the Milky Way. Pretty I mean, there's so many targets. And it's not the only planetary nebula. I was kind of like looking around through kind of some of the very star-dense areas of the Milky Way, looking at dark nebula and stuff, and I ran across a few planetary nebulas, but so a lot of them are much smaller. So this one, it's not huge, but at least it's you know, at least something that can be imaged with the Seestar. Speaking of, that is an awesome M31 already, their cosmic ray. Got the supernova. But yeah, this is looking good. Very good. Yeah, so I got, because this is on the S30. This might take a bit of time, but I got a few different filaments. B330 or 140. Let me look. This one I was on, I kind of picked midway between the Snow Globe and B330. So this is like B330 and LDN 645 up here, this dark nebula. And there's also like a small dark nebula here, I think, and that's LDN 644. But yeah, this one is, I think, it's the kind of B330. Yep. Yeah, because I'll just kind of, I'll just go through stellarium looking, with the frame of view for the Seestar and just kind of look for dark nebula on a kind of a nice star field, or like in the case of this one with a planetary nebula. That looks nice. That wide field is really great. And that supernova is still nicely visible. I mean, even with the extra data on the Seestar, it's not indistinguishable from the core. Let me see. Oh. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing the supernova. It's I definitely want to get the reflector out there to try to image it. Welcome back, North Star. Cassiopeia A. Which one's that one? Oh. That's a good idea. Yeah. That would be a good thing to try at Starfront, maybe. Sorry, I'm just, let me see. It's near the lobster claw. Might be high enough. Let me see. What's the brightness of it? Interesting. Oh, let's try it. Let me add it to the schedule. Caroline's Rose Cluster. That's quite a busy cluster. That's cool. Let me switching to M33. Cool. Let me see. Cassiopeia A. I have a lot of too many browsers here, which is another reason why I want to get some of this functionality in ESC, because I end up juggling stuff a lot, and it's kind of annoying sometimes. Now it says to use a light pollution filter, but do I? I'll try it without, and I can always switch it. So this is already, I mean, I'm probably not going to get any more detail out of this. It would only bring out more of the dark nebula. So I think I'm going to go to the next one. Turned off trees. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, hello, Mehmet. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so let's try, and actually, yeah, it's not tiny, but might be faint, so we'll see how it goes. And I will leave this target and go to the next Cassiopeia A. There are a lot of stars there. Yeah, so this, let's try boosting this a bit. So this is from my backyard. I'm going to let this go until I'm done. It's looking really nice. And yeah, so we'll see. I might end up turning on the light pollution filter, but we'll try it without for now. We'll turn this, the stretch down a bit. Did that update yet? There we go. So it should be somewhere in here, but it'll be interesting to see. So this is kind of interesting. I was just looking up this. Well, after it was suggested, I was looking up Cassiopeia A, and it's kind of what's interesting is this supernova occurred 11,000 light years away, but the light arrived in it arrived at Earth in the 1660s. But what's interesting is it's a fairly high latitude. People were observing, and yet there are no it says there's no definitively corresponding records of this supernova. And there were basic telescopes around, and it says its likely omission in records is probably due to interstellar dust absorbing optical wavelength radiation before it reached Earth. It might have been recorded as a 6 magnitude star, but one of the ideas is the star had, before it went supernova, had been kind of throwing off some of the layers of material, and then that kind of obscured the ultimate supernova, which it might have obscured some of the visible light from the supernova, which is kind of interesting. I mean, because there haven't been many recorded supernovas, and especially not many in the last few centuries. So it's strange to find a supernova remnant that should have been visible when we knew people would have been observing. All right. So this is going. This is going. Yeah, I think because I had a late dinner, I wasn't even thinking about like how long I was going to stream, but it's already 12:30 my time, so I'll probably wrap it up within the next half hour. Just because I have things in the morning, for better or worse. Oh, thanks for your membership, Matt. I do really appreciate it. And if you haven't joined the Discord server, I need to plug that, or anybody else if you haven't joined it. But yeah, thank you for your membership. I was actually thinking about maybe this week or soon, kind of having a what do you call it? Not a fundraiser, but a goal of I want to get a Newtonian for an 8-inch, cheap 8-inch Newtonian. But I don't know if that's going to be. I was kicking around the idea, but haven't done it. But all support helps. So whether it's just liking and subscribing, or joining as a channel member, or Patreon, or buy me a coffee, I have kind of the usual suspects. But yeah, everything helps, and it helps. Does help the channel. Everything helps. Decent radio source. Right, yeah. Yeah, that was, I saw that in the article that it's one of the, it was one of the earlier discovered radio sources. Alrighty. Ow, my knee popped. All right. Yeah, what I was going to look up is when we have, or what the weather situation looks like. It supposedly is going to be great here tomorrow, so I'll be able to. I'll try to bring out the reflector, get that set up so I can try to image the that supernova. And of course, I'll have the S30 out. Starfront looks like it's going to be good tomorrow night and Wednesday night, so I might do live streams on both. Because then it's going to be unclear conditions Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but then Sunday might be clear at Starfront. And here it looks like Thursday will be iffy, Wednesday's out, Thursday will be iffy, Friday looks out, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday. So I want to try to. That was one thing I did a few times where I hadn't had a live stream in a few days, in like a couple weeks because of rain. Then I had a live stream, and then I decided to take the next day off, and then I didn't have one. I mean, like I had 2 days, and then I only streamed one, and then it ended up being, yeah. Should have tried to take advantage of the weather while I can. And really what I should do is try to work on the that go-to the conversion of J2000 to JNOW coordinates, so I can use ESC tomorrow for going to targets as well. Okay, sorry. I have two browsers, multiple things, and I kind of got lost there for a moment. All right. Let me see. Okay, cool. Oh, let me go look. Oh man, my neck. I definitely need to move more. Oh, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's not bad. You got the extended nebulosity, and yeah, looks good to getting some of the oxygen shell, a little bit of it. But yeah, and you said you were, you get more data from it and kind of combine it, and it's, yeah. Yeah, you had issues with polar alignment. Yeah, if you haven't done polar alignment with the Seestar, it's a little different, but like once you do it a few times, it's pretty second nature. I'm gonna try turning it. It did at one point suggest to use the light pollution filter. I don't know if I want to or not, but maybe I'll just force it on just to see if it does anything. It's about, I mean, it's only been 10 minutes, but and now it's on. Giant cache. So you weren't able to get onto Discord? That link? Does that link should work. I mean, if you don't have a Discord account, it's, yeah, it worked. But if you don't have a Discord account, that's fine. Gonna have some water. I always forget to drink water. All right. Your Cosmic Ray, your battery's getting in the danger zone there. Although, are you charging it now? I guess you're charging it now. But yeah, I sometimes I added the color coding, but then I sometimes would miss that it was in the danger zone, so I added it where it puts a yellow border around it to really kind of call out that it's either disk utilization's running low or battery's running low. I mean, disk utilization's running high or battery's running low. Yeah, I do. I am kind of. I have a bunch of stuff to get back in the house. I have the S30, which is relatively straightforward, but I have the refractor, which I have to break down, and I did park it, but it's gonna. Well, I can start closing down some stuff here. But yeah, I should probably think about wrapping it up for the night, since I do plan on streaming again tomorrow and the following night. I'm not using Air One Special Edition. I mean, I did produce another release this evening, so the version I'm running is like you're running the pre-alpha, but I cut an alpha release like a couple hours before the stream, I think. So yeah, that's like the build was from today, so it's not a well, that date is wrong. Oh, there's the build. It's the build was from Monday. And I'll probably do another build today or Tuesday to oh hey, hello, welcome to Discord. Yeah, so I should probably, I think I need to kind of wind down the stream because I've got to bring in some stuff. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I just saw you join, and yeah, great. But yeah, we do like people will share their observations. We discuss a lot of astronomy stuff and questions. If you have questions or whatever, it's just pretty chill, pretty well, usually. But yeah. Yeah, so welcome. Thanks for joining that, and thanks for the new membership. I do appreciate it. And I will be doing this again tomorrow, around the same time. I might even start a little earlier. I started today at 9:30, but I might start at 9:15. Not a huge difference, but just a little earlier, taking advantage of the earlier sun set. Yeah, that triangulum's looking pretty good. But yeah, so I'll be, and I might do a solar stream during the day, hopefully. I had a bad cable today, so that but the conditions are supposed to be good tomorrow as well, so if that holds, I might be able to actually do a solar stream. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Let's see what else I'm imaging here. The veil here. Probably needs a lot more time on this. At Bortle 9. Yeah. Well, I felt a little ill earlier today. I mean, I was trying to troubleshoot Windows drivers and USB cables in the heat, and that, I mean, doing that is frustrating to me when I'm in air conditioning, but when I'm baking in this Texas sun with a 100-degree heat index at 9 in the morning, it's not a great time. But maybe if I get up early enough, I'll put the scope out first thing. But now that I know it was a cable, I'm more confident that I'll have less issues tomorrow. Anyhow, but yeah, thanks Mehmet for the new channel membership. Thanks to Cosmic Ray and Star Traveler and Dark Shades and Cupids for sharing their scopes tonight. And yeah, especially here, the shade is nice. Put your hat in a freezer. Actually,
That's a good idea. I do have ice packs. I could put it under my baseball cap. I might do that. Seriously. It's so bad. Especially when I'm like having to fiddle with stuff out there and I'm like making mistakes because like I'm trying to get out of the sun. I'm trying to do it in a hurry so I can go back inside. But yeah, yeah, so yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. I will sorry, it's getting late. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. And yeah, good evening, clear skies, good night, morning. Yeah, the doing the Crab Nebula, that'll be awesome. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining, and I will see you see you later. See you in the next one. Sorry, I'm like obviously a little disoriented. Okay, thanks. Bye.